Okay, so I want to shoot a quick video today. I've been getting a lot of questions, and I've noticed a common theme between a lot of them. A lot of them, the basis of it really is people want to know, like, can we trust these certain people? Are these infrared sauna review sites legit? This sauna salesperson is telling me this. How do I know if they're telling the truth? All this kind of stuff. And I went through this same thing. It's the whole reason that I started just buying saunas and testing them myself, because you can't really trust, what people say. You got to take it at face value. So in this video, I'm going to kind of show you 3 ways that you can know if infrared sauna reviews are legit or not. I'm going to show a couple examples. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to see. I think it will be able to see what's on the screen, but I'll just tell you as I talk through it. These are just things, just over the last few days, my inbox has had a slew of very similar questions. So this is just a Google page. People search for like infrared sauna reviews, and these particular, let me see if you can, I don't know if you'd be able to see that or not. Will it zoom in on there? Maybe. This is kind of hard to do. But people are sending me links basically and saying, Matt, are these sauna reviews legit? These people say that the J&H is the best and all this kind of stuff. And I fell into this trap too until I realized that these are just thinly veiled affiliate sites where people put lists together. They're all kind of the same. The thing with these is none of these people, they're just web developers. None of these people have actually ever stepped foot in an infrared sauna. And the way that you can tell that is they don't have any of their own pictures. There's no pictures of them inside any particular model. There's no videos of them doing any testing. It's all kind of like the same old bullshit. And this is what drove me to start, well, this isn't actually what drove me to start reviewing them myself. What drove me is the nonsense that you get when you call the companies. And then you have like the forums and all this other stuff. And they just kind of spew the same old nonsense with no validity. And so the 3 ways that you can basically tell are, these infrared sauna review sites, if you don't see the people actually in them, or if they don't even own one particular model. Even if you own one, it would be better if you're talking about others than owning nothing. If you're just a website owner or just an affiliate marketer or something, you really have no value to offer as far as testing infrared saunas or providing reviews. The other thing is, people keep asking me about, we'll get to I'll use the TheraSauna as an example because I got this up right now, but somebody else was asking me about these types of YouTube reviews. Or actually it was, and here I go saying actually because I'm going to point this out in a second. Let's do infrared sauna review on YouTube. And somebody was sending me links to these types of videos where, like this. And this isn't me calling out anyone in particular. There's a bunch of people out there that are doing this. But the separation is huge. So there's a lot of videos where people just pull up the website, right, of the particular sauna company. Like I could pull up the TheraSauna, and then we go through here, and they say all kinds of crazy stuff like, I can tell from the pictures, that this has high EMF, or that it's made out of this wood, and all this other shit, which is fine. But to answer, your questions about when you see these YouTube videos and no one's actually in a sauna, or it's a screenshot video where somebody is basically just recording the screen of like the TheraSauna, homepage. I don't trust those things. Would you really want to, I'll just show you. The hell with it. We'll just do it right now. Okay, so the difference is, and this comes up in the language, and this is kind of like the 3rd point. If you research this stuff enough, you can kind of spot this stuff. You get a feel for it. So when somebody says something about the TheraSauna and they'll say, this 9.4 micron and throw all this other bullshit out there, and they'll start saying, well, the heater's actually, and the TheraSauna actually does this, and actually, all this kind of shit. And it's just a screen capture. The difference is huge. And let me show you what I'm talking about. You don't use that kind of language when you're actually testing them. I don't have this set up. I didn't really plan on doing this. But for example, I have a TheraSauna right here. Right? And so, let me make sure that you can see this. I'm not going to tell you that these emitters actually this and actually all this other bullshit. And you're not going to see a screen capture. I'm going to sit in the damn thing and I'm going to say, I ordered this because I had never tried a ceramic sauna before, like a ceramic powered infrared sauna before. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing out on something because I'm looking for the best sauna for me. Whether or not I end up selling saunas or do all this other shit, my number one priority is to make sure that I get the best sauna on the planet, because I'm gonna have this thing for life, right? This isn't like, I wouldn't be willing to spend $20,000 or $30,000 and test all this shit if I wasn't 100% committed to finding the best sauna for me. Because for the next 10 years, I'm at a point where after I got the mercury fillings removed and the liver enzymes were so high and the people wouldn't believe me and they thought I was an alcoholic and I hardly drink. And I went through this big thing. I don't want to get too bogged down. I'll make a separate video about it. But the way that I got in this position isn't the way that I'm going to get out. And so one of the things that's crucial for me to get my health back and get rid of the fatigue, get rid of the brain fog, stop the anxiety, the panic attacks, all this crazy shit that is screwing up my life in a sense, is to have a regular sweating ritual. And I want to make sure that I can get the best detox in the shortest amount of time, in the most comfortable environment. I don't care what it costs, because this isn't like a short-term thing. This isn't just me buying some $1,000 sauna from Amazon so that I can get a good sweat. It's much bigger to me. This is me, wanting to improve my health over the next 5-10 years. And so if it costs, $1,000 or $2,000 a year, and that would be $10,000 or $20,000 for a sauna or something, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And so I'm willing to go to whatever lengths. My motivation, that's the difference too, is that people that make screenshot videos or they do all this other kind of stuff, you can tell in the language based on the questions that you ask them. When you say, hey, what do you think about the TheraSauna? They pull up the website and they tell you this and they tell you that and all this nonsense. They're not going to say things like, well, I just got this TheraSauna, I've had it for about a week and a half, and I really want to like it because the heaters have, this is me talking for real. This is my actual opinion of this TheraSauna. The build quality is shit. They've got videos from some distributor, some pool company or something on YouTube that says they're made in the USA. Complete bullshit. I pulled up the manifesto for the TheraSauna import from China. They get the damn cabinets from wherever. Maybe they get the little yellow heaters from like Chicago or something like that, but it's a sham. This sauna is damn sure, it comes from the same place all the other ones do. Look at the outside of it. Look at the buckles that hold it together. What's my opinion of it? I want to love the TheraSauna. I like the way the ceramic heaters feel. There's a couple of problems with it. I didn't like the build quality. The build quality sucks. It's a piece of shit. It's made thin, it's got plywood, the roof was broken, the screws were stripped out. The control panel on this TheraSauna Classic, I don't know if the more expensive one is better, but this control panel is the worst sauna control panel I've ever used. Out of all the infrared saunas I've ever used, this is the worst one. It's cumbersome as hell. I hate it. They sent me, this is like real world experience. This isn't me like recording the website and saying, oh, it's high EMF, even though they say it's low EMF. Let's test it. Let's find out. Is it really high EMF? Is it really low EMF? I don't know. Let's find out. Does it have RF in it? This is the kind of shit that pissed me off enough to start doing this. You go in here, you turn the damn thing on, you let it heat up. I want to love this sauna. Do we have an electromagnetic field in front of these ceramic heaters? Absolutely. It's got a built-in backrest. We've got a solid 10 milligauss. This isn't like making things up, just looking at the statistics posted on the website, or that's another thing. Buying in, I'm tired of people asking me about third-party EMF reports. Everyone fucking sends me these stupid-ass questions. I'm not mad at the people. They're stupid-ass questions to me because the sauna company can say whatever, the sauna companies can say whatever they want, and no one's gonna do jack shit about it. So everyone that sends me emails about the Clearlight third-party EMF test reports, everyone that sends me emails about the Sunlighten third-party EMF test reports, everyone that sends me emails about the J&H Lifestyle no EMF, verified by Intertech, which is a third party, and all this bullshit. I bought one. I bought into it too. It's bullshit. There is no such thing as no EMF. If it plugs into a wall, it's got EMF. You're drawing current, you're drawing amperage at a decent volume when the power supply kicks in. When it really kicks into gear and you're heating at full bore, you've got decent amperage there. You're gonna have some type of an electric field. You're gonna have some type of magnetic field. The key is to keep your body away from it. So let's not get off topic too much. I get all fired up when this stuff happens because, I'm not upset with the people, and I like the questions because I truly want other people to benefit from me spending $20,000 or $30,000 and doing this stuff. And I get the questions too, and I'll make a separate video. I've gotten several questions in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, where some women were asking me, am I a sauna salesman? Why am I doing this? Why don't I just keep this to myself? Do I have a vested interest in any particular company? Yada, yada, yada. I'm going to make a separate video for each one of those. But the short of it is, my number one motivation is to get what I need. As a selfish motivation. Like, I'm doing this for me. But what I realized was, if this had happened to my parents, or this was my grandparents calling, Clearlight or Sunlighten, or any of these companies, it doesn't have anything to do with any one company. And they got on the phone with an aggressive salesperson, or they mortgaged their house to buy some $25,000 sauna they didn't need, or all this kind of stuff. If you think I'm emotionally charged now, if that were to happen to my grandparents or my parents or something, I would fucking flip out. If I'm a tech savvy person, it's what I do for a living. If I'm having this much difficulty finding a good high quality sauna that I believe, and this is the most important part, the thing that drives me enough to do all this and spend whatever amount of money it takes, it's a long-term strategy for me. And the reason that it's so important is I would need to believe in the product. Because if I don't believe in the product over the next 5-10 years, I'm going to question, is there something better? Did I buy the right thing? Does this have the high EMFs that everyone's talking about? And half the time, the EMF thing, I don't mean to do the middle finger, half the time, but it would be appropriate, the EMF stuff is fear mongering. It's fear marketing. EMFs shouldn't be feared. They're meant to be understood. They're meant for you to understand them so that you can work with them, because it's not going away. Anything that plugs into a wall has EMF. A hairdryer has EMF. The bathroom fan has EMF. Your kitchen appliances have EMF. A juicer, a blender, the dishwasher, oh my God, have you ever tested a garbage disposal? It's a fucking coil motor right underneath a metal sink. Do you know how many milligauss that emits? Or how much a stainless steel front dishwasher that's miswired emits? It's over 50 milligauss. And so one of the things that drives me crazy is all this fear mongering to try to steer people to get them to buy a particular brand. And I'm all about buying quality. But what I'm not about is scaring people into purchasing stuff just as a way to manipulate their brand preference. And that's what you see is rampant in the sauna industry, from the sauna salespeople, every one of them that you call, half the sauna salespeople or the reviewer, people that review saunas and all this kind of shit, they've never stepped foot in half of these. They step foot in the one that they own, which is probably the brand or the company that they work for because they got a discount and now they're a brand evangelist and it works because that's their job and they get paid for it. It's not like they're not out there spending 20, 30 grand like I am. And I don't want to say like I am, because one thing that drives me crazy is when people start doing sauna reviews or they're health educators, they start the video with the very first thing like, oh, I'm an expert in da-da-da-da-da. Or, I'm this or I'm that. I hate that shit. If you're really an expert, let it come natural, let it shine through naturally. That is a reflection. Those people, I see it immediately. They are doubting themselves. I'm not a fucking sauna expert. I'm a guy that's struggling with detoxing heavy metals and my organs won't tolerate chelation. I'm seeing a functional medicine doctor. I'm tired of being tired all the time. I'm tired of my life getting fucked up from brain fog and not being able to work. I'm tired of not getting well, and I'm willing to do anything. And so the number one thing that was recommended to me is regular sauna use. Well, I thought it would be as simple as going out and buying a sauna. But then you go down this rabbit hole and it's like, well, I don't want to make a hasty $5,000 purchase decision on something that's a pile of shit, or something that we're going to find out 5 years from now has, crazy high body voltage or a magnetic field or electric fields that we didn't see. So it's like, okay, well, this is the number one thing that I need to move my health forward in my life right now. Like, this is the number one critical thing that I can be doing on a daily basis. That's not drugs and supplements and all this other shit. I've done all that. I'm kind of tapped out and plateaued on that. And I need to detox this stuff. And the fastest way to do it is with this. And so I don't know where I was going with that, but these are my motivations, and I'll just give you a little hint of what the other videos will be about on whether or not I sell saunas. Man, when I realized how difficult this was for people to find a good solution, yeah, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna start documenting this because I'm gonna do it anyway. Hopefully it'll help someone along the way. And when I do find the best solutions, you're damn right I'm gonna sell them. Like, I feel like it's almost my duty to sell them so that people don't have to go through what I went through. And there is a monetary component too. I mean, I'm not a stupid guy. I've been self-employed for a very long time. I'm not just gonna throw 20 or 30 grand away if I don't think I have a way to get it back. I would invest that and just throw it out the window if it would fix my health. But I'm not convinced that any, one particular thing, I'm happy to invest thousands of dollars a month like I've been doing. It's a slow process. But yeah, I mean, I would like to get some of that money back. So it would be nice to create relationships with these companies as I buy them for the ones that are actually halfway decent. And be able to either be a referral partner or a dealer or sell them later. I mean, it's a natural fit. I would be stupid not to do it. I'm creating all this content. I have more videos of more saunas with as many EMF meters as you can count than anyone that I've seen. And so for me, the amount of positive impact that will have for other people, the amount of negative experiences that will save, especially elderly people who aren't tech savvy. Like, I think of my parents and my grandparents, if this were them in this situation, you know how difficult this would be? Like, it would be a huge pain in the ass. And these sauna salespeople would be taking advantage of them left and right. And it would be a disaster. And if, I know some people don't like my language and they don't like this, and I get complaints. It's not like I don't see them. I see them. But you're talking to somebody whose life has been derailed by these particular health circumstances, and the whole reason to do these bad boys is to fix that. And there's an emotional charge there, because on days when I couldn't put two sentences together, and the brain fog was so bad I just laid on the couch all day, or the fatigue was so bad that I needed a nap by 10 a.m. and I'd only been up for 3 hours. I'm trying to talk to these sauna people, and I'm trying to research on the computer, and I'm trying to filter out all the WebMD stuff based on the symptoms and not get scared that I have some terminal illness and all this other shit. And then, I come across some sauna company that makes some marketing claim, the J&H, no EMF. I'm like, oh, well, I'll just buy a J&H because it has no EMF, and then I won't have to worry about if it's low EMF or not. I feel taken advantage of by these companies when I've been in a vulnerable state. And so for somebody to ask me to be professional and politically correct and all this other shit, and use family friendly language, after a set of circumstances that have completely stopped my life in its tracks and changed the direction, and it messes with you quite a bit when you can't think straight. And there's days where you can't work, and there's days where you can't get out of bed, and you lay on the couch at night searching on the iPad, researching. Like, your whole life revolves around researching your health conditions so that you can figure out a way to get better, because doctors aren't helping. People say, just man the fuck up, life's too short to be tired. All this stuff, anxiety's all in your head, but they don't have the sensations that you have from your nervous system, and it's like, Jesus, And so when you go through those sets of circumstances, it creates a certain amount of emotion. I mean, especially when someone takes advantage of you when you're in a vulnerable state like that, and you buy into their marketing hypes, and you buy into their claims, and you buy into their salespeople, and you vote with your dollars. I mean, you don't have the money? I need this. Put it on a credit card. And so I don't think people understand, like, when I see the complaints, when I get the emails, when I get the YouTube comments, and people say stuff about the language and my opinions, and then I'm very, to me, this is nothing. To me, this is mild compared to what I've been through and the circumstances that come up. And you got to understand too, in real life, I'm a very calm person. I'm very respectful, extremely professional most of the time. You have to really piss me off to get me, fired up, and to a point where I'm not, easygoing or a likable or hard to deal with person. And there's some videos, I tell you what, there's some YouTube videos. There's this little kid, I call him little kid, that is like holistic saunas, or some people sent me some videos, and I started to watch them, and about 30 seconds in, I had to shut it off. This kid was like arguing with an elder at a sauna, not a sauna show, but like a health show or something. Like I think it was actually these people, these Therasana people. Look it up. You know, I don't tolerate that shit. You know, I wouldn't tolerate some little kid acting like a prick like that. You know, talking to an elder, especially at a show. Like if I was that guy, I would tell him to get the fuck out of my booth. You know, I just don't tolerate that kind of nonsense. And there's no reason, you know, I might get fired up and I might get pissed off and I might, you know, tell my opinion or yell at somebody. But you can be damn sure, you know, at the end of the day, I'm still going to be respectful to those people in some way. Or I would still treat people with the same amount of respect that I, you know, expect from others. And especially with elders and things like that. And I have no issue with going after sauna salesmen and sauna marketing claims and all this kind of stuff. I mean, you can tell by some of the blog posts. But at the end of the day, you know, there is a higher purpose. And I'll make separate videos that address the monetary stuff. I do have a financial incentive to try to get some of this money back. And I think I kind of just want to do it. I think it'll be fun to maybe sell saunas once I find out which ones are the best. But man, you can be 100% certain that if I just wanted to sell saunas, I wouldn't be doing all this. I mean, there's 3 saunas in this room right now, and that's just this week. And you know, last week I spent another $8,000. 2 more saunas coming. And so, you know, I'm not going to stop until I find what I need. And I think that the material that I'm creating or the documentation that I'm doing of this stuff is, you know, will help a lot of other people. And yeah, I mean, at some point I've got to make some money on it so I can get some of the money back, or at least have some type of a side income so that I can keep buying saunas. Because, you know, eventually, I'm definitely not, my core motivation is not to be in this for the money. I don't really need the money. I mean, I like money. It buys me options and freedoms, and, you know, I always want to make more. But especially being a self-employed person, you know, even though I do well, I spend a lot of money in taxes. I've got a lot of expenses. And one of the things that most people, actually I don't think anybody knows, unless I released one of the videos I shot a couple months ago. The only reason that I moved to this 4 or 5 bedroom house to live by myself as a single person, the only reason that I moved to a place this big was so that I could do this for me. I didn't realize what it would turn into when I started, but when I became a professional blogger, or when I lived on savings for the entire year of 2016 so that I could become a professional blogger and stop doing web services, that's all I needed. I live in a 500 square foot treehouse. You know, it was a 2nd floor apartment. I don't need anything else just for me. I don't need this giant place. I moved here so that I could do this. I moved here so that I was in the right place to receive semi-deliveries on a regular basis, to have a garage to house all the pallets, to have all the rooms, because, you know, I can't fit any more saunas in this room. I'm tapped out, so it's on to the next room. And that's why I moved here. And I'll make separate videos that talk about that. I don't really mention it too much because I don't want people to think like, you know, some woe pitiful me bullshit story, you know, or that I expect some special, you know, pat on the back or something. Just, you know, I'm not that noble. You know, my selfish motivations first are to find the right sauna for me that I believe in, that I know 100%, or at least a couple options that I know are good. And then, you know, second, of course I want to help people. And then third, of course I want to recoup some of my dollars. You know, I've got to at some point. I can't spend $8,000 a week forever. Well, maybe I could, but not at this particular stage in my life. Maybe if I was hustling again. But anyway, long story short, I know this video is getting really long. I think the example I was trying to make in here was that, you know, instead of just telling bullshit review points or badgering EMF, you know, based on a Therasana website, we're sitting in one. I didn't like the build quality. I didn't like the fact that I had to take a jam saw to the roof and to some of the trim because there was pencil marks from the factory and they forgot to cut it. So I couldn't put it together unless I took a saw to it. I already had it halfway together. Then I had to vacuum it out because there was sawdust everywhere. I mean, if you spend $3,000 or more on a sauna, you shouldn't have to do stuff like that. And the build quality just sucks. I mean, just the springs on the lights are, I mean, it's just not, I don't know. It's not my favorite. I want to love the sauna though, because I like the experience that you get from the heaters. I'm testing them against some others right now. We've got the Evolve over there. We've got a sauna I don't want to talk about over there because it's a pile of shit. And it has felt on the heating covers and all the other saunas that I've tested. So I like the sweat that this gives. I don't know what to do about the EMS. I mean, it has a solid 10 milligauss field right here. And so the purpose of this video isn't to do a TheraSauna review. I'll do a separate one. But there's a huge difference between me showing you a screenshot recording of the TheraSauna website and saying that they're high EMF and they've got toxins in here and all this other stuff, and sitting in one where someone is actually testing it out and reviewing it and doesn't smell anything funky, unlike that thing over there that's loaded with toxins. And that is not pointing out third-party EMF reports, which are completely bogus, by the way. The way that they generate such low levels in a third-party EMF report is they take the heaters out of the sauna, send them to a lab, and then test them. Of course, the sauna heater is going to have a lower electromagnetic field in a lab isolated by itself. The reason why is because, for one, there isn't another heater next to it, and for two, the cabling that is in the wall is removed from the environment for that testing. And so a lot of times EMF doesn't just come from the emitters, it comes from unshielded cabling in the walls. There's multiple sources, plus the power supply. So if the power supply is under the seat and the main cord that plugs into the wall that's drawing most of the amperage has no conduit, no shielding, no nothing, you're going to get a magnetic field from there. There's going to be electric fields from that. There just is. And so there's a big difference, you know, and so this TheraSauna has a solid 10, 12 milligauss at the backrest. And that's not something that you're going to be able to understand or even know for sure from a website review or whatever. So that's my take on how to figure out if you can trust infrared sauna reviews. If you don't see the guy in it with an EMF meter or more than 1 meter so that you can know that it's accurate, it's kind of bogus. I mean, it's just at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. I don't know any other way to, to really explain it. And so I hope that helps somebody out there. And I'm still gonna field the rest of the questions and make other videos. We'll see you in the next video.